Welcome to the Inspiring Heights podcast. I'm your host, Vanessa Kaiser, and I am so excited to be here with you today. Inspiring Heights exists to walk alongside you as we learn to create healthy rhythms, flourish in our faith, and be inspired where our feet are. We're honored that you're with us today. We can't wait. Let's get started. Episode 9 is the third and final episode in our spring cleaning series, and today we're going to zone in on maintenance. You know that age-old saying, starting with the end in mind? Well, that has really been the foundational principle of our entire spring cleaning series. In episode 8, we really focused in on what you want your room to feel like and look like once you're done spring cleaning, and perhaps even more importantly, why you want your room to feel and look and function that specific way. If you have not had the opportunity to listen to episodes 7 and 8, I would really encourage you to pause this episode, go back and listen to them. I think it will help you to listen to them in order and understand the principles that we're talking about today, because they really are this thread woven through all 3 episodes. So as we consider starting with the end in mind as it relates specifically to maintenance, there are 3 things I want to talk to you about. The first thing is creating a maintainable system. As you are considering how you're going to rework your pantry, rework your bathroom closet, organize your library, organize your clothes, organize your office, whatever that it is that you're looking at, you really need to take time before you get started to consider what maintenance is going to look like. I know that it's sometimes really easy to get overzealous. We talk about this all the time, right? It's easy for us to be really excited about spring cleaning. It's really easy for us to be excited about resetting a specific room. We're in the middle of this right now. We are resetting our library and we're moving the podcast studio up and combining my office and my husband's office all in one. And we are super excited about this. And in that excitement, things can really get out of control. We can create things that are actually going to require a lot of maintenance if we want the things we create to look and feel and function the way that we have created them on the front end. Let's take the bathroom closet as an example. Let's say that in your spring cleaning, you decide to fold your towels a different way. They maybe fit a little bit better in there. They're organized by color. It just looks amazing. But the way that you are folding your towels and storing them requires more time each time you do laundry. So you may be very, very motivated during your spring cleaning episode to do it this way. But when real life happens and you're working really hard and the kids need your attention, your spouse needs your attention, you all of a sudden find yourself going, I actually do not have the extra time that I thought I had when I was spring cleaning, and now this space is a mess because it only worked when I took the time to fold towels this way. If I need this space to function outside of that extra time, I have to entirely rework it. And now you're discouraged and you're busy and you've already taken time to reset, which means that probably you're not going to come back and reset it again right now. So maintaining is more doable and likely if we pause, think, do I have the time? Is it going to take me more time? And is more time realistic? Is the maintenance of this new system I've put in place actually doable in this season of life? Step 2 is to decide on your maintenance system. Aside from really overly complicated systems, maintenance is generally much simpler and easier than we make it out to be. I just want to tell you a story of something that I was thinking about this week. So you all know, because I told you in the last podcast episode that my husband and I are totally reworking our library and our offices, right? And so the library is in shambles still right now because we had just a really busy week, and we did not have the opportunity to spend near as much time in the library as we had hoped for. And so as I'm sitting here recording this episode, I'm looking around and it's overwhelming. Like, there are lots of books that don't have labels, that aren't on shelves, because we are like mid-project and we have not gotten it done. And I was telling my husband yesterday, as we were both feeling a little overwhelmed about the library, I said, if we actually pause and set a timer for 20 minutes a night, if we both spent 20 minutes a night in the library together, we could have this done in like 5 days. Easy. It might not even take 5 days. And 20 minutes a night, even at the very end of the day when you're totally fried, 20 minutes is not that long. And I know that that might sound simple, and we don't have kids, and so you might be laughing at me if you have kids and you're like, that's really funny, Vanessa. But my whole point is, no matter what it is, no matter what your season is, if you can break it down and really ask yourself the question, how complicated is this really? Or how much have I made it complicated in my mind? What can I accomplish in 10 or 15 minutes a day? And I think that more often than not, we're surprised by what we can accomplish in such a short amount of time. Part of deciding on the maintenance system is really starting small. We've talked about this. We get really excited, we get really overzealous, but then life happens and things fall apart. So, as we are planning out our spring cleaning, as we're planning out our new systems and reset for this room, and we're thinking about maintenance, and we're deciding on what our maintenance system is going to be like, we probably shouldn't start with like, in order to maintain my new kitchen pantry, I'm going to need 1 hour per day. But that's like no big deal. That's only like 7 hours a week. Listen, you and I both know an hour a day is a lot of time and probably not very realistic for most of us. So we have to start small. Again, I'll give you an example of what we do in real life. So cleaning the bathroom is not one of either my husband or I's favorite chores. In fact, we really don't like it very much at all. Well, one of the things I have found is that if I am diligent to swish the toilet and to wipe down the counter every day when I get up in the morning, cleaning the bathroom on Thursday or Friday when we like full on clean it takes much less time and it's much less disgusting than if I don't do those things all week long. And do you know how long that takes me? Literally, I bet if I timed it, I could have that done in under 1 minute. Under 1 minute in the morning, the very first thing. And then it like resets the bathroom for the day. And it makes me feel good every time I go in there and I don't feel overwhelmed. And I'm ready to go. And again, when I get to the end of the week, the actual maintenance on the bathroom is very, very simple. So those things that you can do under a minute are fantastic, but they require us to actually think about them. So as you're considering your reset, think about what are some really small, really tangible ways that I can maintain this space after I've done the work to reset it. Okay, and the third and final step is to commit, do, and reevaluate. It's a 3-part step. I really love the number 3. So commit, do, and reevaluate. We all have different mechanisms for motivation. I really, really like to write things down. I love the satisfaction that I get from crossing off a checklist box, and I don't throw them away because I like to look back and go, oh my goodness, look what I accomplished this week, this month, this year. That is very, very satisfying for me. But I don't pretend for one single minute that that is satisfying for everybody because I know it is not. I know it's not. I have a lot of people in my life who are not analog people. They are digital people. And while we should probably have an entire podcast episode to talk about how there is some science behind analog being really helpful for us, I am not going to get into that today. I think what's important is that you have to choose what works well for you, and not even just what works well for you, but what you're actually going to do. Because if you're not a paper person and you commit to writing down your maintenance system in a notebook or in a planner, you're not going to That's right. Maintain it. You're not going to maintain it. You're not going to keep up on it because it doesn't actually motivate you. So you have to decide, where's the best place that I can keep a list of the things that I need to do. Some of you might just have like a steel trap of a mind and you can keep it in your brain. I would say this doesn't seem like it's something that works very well for very many people, particularly when life happens and we get busy. It feels really hard to remember those things. But if you're that person, you know who you are. You do you. Some other ideas: you have your planners, you have your notebooks, whiteboards, sticky notes, and then you have your phone or computer or tablet. Those digital places. You can keep it on your calendar. You can keep a to-do list. You can track it in your notes or your reminders. But put the things on your calendar that need to get done and make sure that you have a rhythm for having a reminder. So for me, I have our daily to-do lists, our weekly to-do lists, and our monthly to-do lists as it relates to chores and cleaning our house written down in my planner. And I check them off. I check the daily ones off daily. I check the weekly ones off weekly. And the monthly ones get done at the end of the month. And so this helps me to go, oh, it's the middle of May, and there's this thing over here that I need to do this month, and I have a little bit of time this week, so I'm going to go ahead and dust the washing machine because I am down here, I'm doing laundry, and now's a good time to grab that dust rag and just wipe it off really fast, and then I get to check that off my monthly to-do list. So whatever works for you, do it. But I would really encourage you to, again, just take that time to decide, what is the system that's going to work the best for me? I've mentioned this throughout the episode today, but I'm going to say it again really tangibly. As much as you can, connect the tasks to a specific amount of time. It's going to take me 15 minutes to clean all the mirrors in the house. It's going to take me 5 minutes to dust the washing machine. It's going to take me 20 minutes to put the laundry away. Whatever the tasks are, connect times to them. We talked about this in the last episode, but all together so often we can look at our time and our schedule and go, ooh, I only have a half an hour. I don't feel like I have time to do anything. When in fact, you might be able to get 2 or 3 tasks checked off your list. It's just that our brains don't work that way in the heat of the moment. So if we're able to step back and do it ahead of time, we set ourselves up for more opportunity to fit in some of those tasks in spaces that maybe aren't extensive lengths of time. The final portion of this third step is to evaluate. And that means just to pause and reflect on whether or not the system for maintenance that you have put in place is actually working. Is the space still feel and function and look the way that you want and intended it to when you first started? And is it maintainable during this season of your life? My recommendation would be that you reevaluate your systems on a monthly basis. And here's why. First, it takes time to get into a rhythm. And it takes time to decide if that rhythm is actually serving the purpose that we intend for it to. So I may do something one time and it may feel incredibly clunky, but maybe I was having an off day or I didn't do it the way that I really should be doing it. So if I do it over the course of a month, by the time the end of that month is done, I should have a pretty good sense as to whether or not that rhythm is serving the purpose that I set out for it, right? So the room functions, looks, and feels the way that I intend for it to. The second thing is that our life is made up of seasons. You guys know that I'm really passionate about making sure that we're naming our season, we're acknowledging it, and we're pivoting so that our rhythms match the season of life that we're currently in. I feel like seasons are biblical, and it is foolish of us to not acknowledge them. And seasons last for an unknown amount of time. Sometimes seasons are really short, and sometimes they're really, really long. So if we're evaluating on a monthly basis, and there's really nothing particularly special about a month's time as it relates to the seasons of life, because like I said, they're all different lengths. But at a month's time, I have the opportunity to go like, yep, I'm still in this season. This is still the things that are keeping me busy, that are consuming my time, where my energy is focused. Or nope, it's actually changed and I need to pivot. I'm going to take the opportunity to tell you guys another little story here quick because I want to drive this point home. I was recently given the opportunity to step into a new position at work, one that I am very humbled and excited that I was invited into. And this new position, though, is going to require a little bit more of my time, and it's going to require a little bit more of my brain space and my energy. And so I started on Monday and I went through the whole week. And when I got to Friday, I was like, okay, I think it is safe to say that we are officially in a new season. And I know that this season is not going to last forever because I'm in this position new. It's new to me. And so I'm going to learn new rhythms and habits and the rhythms of the season of, an accounting firm and all of those things. I'm going to learn all of that. And so it will change. But right now in this season, I told my husband, we're going to have to do some pivoting because we are officially in a new season. So what was working for maintaining our house and meal planning are very, very different now. We still need to clean our house. We still need to eat, but how we get to those things needs to look different in this season than it did in our previous season. So we have to pivot. And if we don't pivot, here's what happens. We're constantly frustrated, we're constantly tired, and we're constantly feeling behind. Like, ugh. So super practically what that means for us in this situation is hubby and I cleaned our house once a week. Since the time we've been married and all the seasons that we've went through, that has been the rhythm that we have maintained. So on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, we spend a few hours and we knock out our weekly house cleaning chores. However, in this season, what I told hubby the other day was if we continue to do that, I think what's going to happen is that will always happen on a Saturday because by the time the week is over in this particular season, we're totally spent. We're tired and cleaning on Friday night just doesn't feel fun anymore. Like I just want to go to bed or take a nap. So I'm like, okay, I think we're going to have to move that to cleaning a few times a week for a short amount of time. Again, when we get home at the end of the day, we're totally zonked. But can I commit to 20 minutes to clean the bathrooms thoroughly tonight? Yes. Can I commit to 20 minutes to clean the kitchen tonight? Absolutely. And what does that do? It makes it so that I don't have to clean everything on Saturday. And by not having to spend several hours cleaning on Saturday, I now have the opportunity to do the other things I want to do, right? Like the fun things that we want to do, but also the other house stuff that we want to get done. Like, oh, we want to keep resetting the library and we want to move forward with this project. Well, that takes time, but resetting the house, that's the most important thing. So if I had to choose, we choose resetting. I don't want to choose though. I would like to do both. So we're going to pivot our rhythm to match this season. Okay, I want to take just a second to give you 4 final tips and tricks for cleaning and resetting your home. First things first, let's make it smell good. I don't know about you, but the first thing I want to do when I have to clean the bathroom is to start my diffuser in the bathroom so that it smells like something delicious. Tropical paradise, lemongrass, cinnamon orange, whatever that I'm feeling that day. But I really, really like it when the bathroom smells good. And it helps me just to feel motivated to keep going. Like I kind of want to be in there because I really enjoy the smell. And honestly, for talking about a bathroom, that's pretty impressive, right? So light a candle, start your diffuser, and make your house smell good. The second thing, create a cleaning playlist. If you are into music, do that. If you're into podcasts, line them up. Like I have 17 podcasts I want to listen to, so I'm going to knock them out while I'm cleaning. If you really love to listen to a book, cleaning is a great time. It's that whole like watching a show while you're working out on the treadmill. You can just go further and longer if you are listening to something that makes you happy. Also, I would say that multitasking is not something we are generally good at as humans. However, I would say that if there are things that aren't of like uber importance, but things that you really do want to listen to, this can be a great way to both listen and clean at the same time. Choose a start and stop time. Knowing when you get to walk away at the end of the day or the end of your cleaning session really helps you to stay on track and focus during the time that you do have. Much less willing to pick up my phone and check social media or walk away and do something different if I know that I get to end this session soon. So choose a start and stop time, and maybe even practice the exercise of setting a timer. And it can be really rewarding when that timer goes off and you're like, all right, I'm done. I've chosen a space and a set of time that makes sense. And when it's done, and I get to walk away and do something different. My fourth and final tip is to share your system with your people. So if you live with anyone, your spouse, kids, a roommate, it is really important that if you reorganize a space that anyone in the house touches, that you take those people to that space and you explain the new system, right? If you reorganize your pantry and you forget to tell your spouse that you have decided to rearrange the cans and organize them in a way that you've never organized them before, and then they put away the Walmart delivery next week and you did not tell them, the chances of them putting it in the right way is very slim because they don't actually know what the right way is. So if we take the time to teach our people our new system on the front end, we will save probably a fight, but definitely some frustration on our end. Okay, friends, I want to take just a second to tell you what's been inspiring me this week. So as I have been thinking about resetting our home and spring cleaning and organization, there are kind of two things I've gotten super, super pumped about. The first is the home edit. And the home edit is two friends who started a professional organizational company, and they have a show on Netflix. They also wrote a book called The Home Edit. And I've just really enjoyed learning about the principles and systems that they put in place for organizing different spaces. I am always a sucker for learning new tips and tricks and techniques, and just seeing the end result is also really, really helpful. Someone can tell you how to do something and tell you how to organize a space, but to actually see it in action has really given me some fun ideas and inspired me a little bit to keep going with our home reset. The second is Kendra Adachi. You guys have heard me talk about her of The Lazy Genius Way. She dropped her second book this week called The Lazy Genius Kitchen. Oh, I am so excited. I got the book in the mail this weekend and I cannot wait to dive into it. I have listened to some podcast episodes about it and I'm so pumped. This is going to be a great tool. The kitchen will be one of the next things that we're conquering in our home. And so I'm really pumped to have that tool in my tool belt. So those are the fun things that have given me some inspiration in this arena specifically these last couple of weeks as I have been thinking about this stuff for our home and as well as thinking about talking to you all about it. Friends, thank you so much for being here today. It means the world to us. Hey, you can check us out on Facebook or Instagram at Inspiring Heights. If you haven't already, subscribe to the podcast so that you never miss an episode. And if you're so inclined, go ahead and leave us a review. This helps for new listeners who haven't heard the podcast to kind of get a feel for what the show is like before they even hit play. If you have friends who aren't yet subscribers, share this with them if this is something you think that would be helpful and encouraging to them. Okay, friends, until next time, take a deep breath and be inspired where your feet are. Bye for now.